Good afternoon. Welcome back to Dr. Kim Going Live. My name is Lara. This is Dr. Kim. And we are just going to jump on in what's going on with Awesome Marriage this week. If you guys have any questions while we're going over any of the questions, please just drop in the comment section. We have our Facebooks pulled up to the side, so we're here. And Dr. Kim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's supposed to rain today, and it hasn't yet, but it's cloudy. I would rather it rain at night and be sunny in the day, but
I know it's a little bit humid today.
Yeah.
I feel like my allergies are kind of popping out again. I was ready for them to go away, but of course they're not.
They're still there a little bit.
Oh, it's just how it is living in Oklahoma, though.
Yep, just it's a surprise every day.
Yeah. Well, this week the Dating Diva Seminar is live. Dr. Kim, this is your second year participating in the Dating Diva Sex Seminar. Why should someone buy this? Why should someone be interested in this?
Last year's it was so much fun to be a part of it for the first time, and then again this year, and there's some great experts on it. But really, it's just a great way for a couple to sit down and really be intentional about their sex life, and maybe open some conversations, hear some great information from some great speakers, people who are really experts, and really it's a chance to take your sex life up a level. And so if you're struggling, there's some topics there that will help you. If you're doing pretty good and like to do better, and so I think it's something in it for everybody. It's just a lot of fun, and Dating Divas do a great job. We partner with them on a couple other things. Tara Carson on them was a part of our marriage seminar last year. And she'll probably be there again. So we do have a great relationship with them. They do a great job, and this is one of the things that I love that they do.
That's so exciting. And there's 14 experts on here, which is awesome.
Yes.
And then your topic is 5 things your spouse wants in bed. And then you talk about his and hers, right?
Yeah, we do. So, and obviously we're not the same, or it would just be one. Yeah. So we talk about the 5 things that guys wanted, just to take a time and just think about what your spouse wants in bed, and how do I do that, and how we do that together. How do we work together to get our sex life better? And so, yeah, it was fun to write that and record it. So I think people will like it.
Well, that's exciting. And if you want a discount, go to our last post, and there's a link on the bottom, and you can get $15 off. So that's super excited. Go sign up right now. And then we are taking a little break from our podcast this week, or for the next 4 weeks. So we actually are choosing 4 podcasts that have been pre-recorded. How did you pick the podcast that's out this week? It's Amber and Arlie's story. How did you choose that?
I kind of left it up to the team that kind of does that a little bit. I just said, I want some of our ones that really people might have missed, or that really hit and people really like. This story of Amber and Arlie is an incredible podcast. Just their story, what God did. They were probably as broken as a couple could be broken, and from Arlie's affairs, and things went on, and they talked very open about that. How Amber handled that, and the strength she got from God to stand strong in a difficult time. All that just goes together. It's a great story, and their marriage, they would both say now, is better than it's ever been. And so I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy to see what God did, and then just to get a chance to meet 2 people who've been through a really hard time and have come out on the other side. Yeah.
So I actually listened to it this morning, and Arlie said, no one sets out to destroy their marriage. And I could not agree with that more. But as a counselor, you've counseled couples for over 30 years. Do you think that that's true?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think a lot of times we don't protect our marriage like we should.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever walks out the door one day and says, I think I'll go have an affair and mess up my life and my marriage. But I think what we do is we take some baby steps that we think are innocent, and then all of a sudden we realize, oh my gosh, we've crossed the line, and we get in trouble. And so what we talk about a lot is just don't cross the line. Don't see how close you can. Somebody said, I wish I could marry it. Don't see how close you can get to the fire without getting burned. Stay away so you're not even hot, And so I think, I don't think anybody, and I think the other thing I see that might be important for people to hear is, most of the time when I've worked with a couple and one of them has had an affair, they always say, I don't think I've ever had said, I had no idea how this would affect my spouse. I mean, the devastation that comes with a spouse. I mean, they knew it was going to affect, they didn't know the spouse was going to say, oh yeah, well, great. No, the depth of the hurt that comes with that is there. And so I think sometimes it's just thinking ahead and honoring your commitment to your spouse and say, I'm just never going there. I'm not going to hurt my marriage. I'm not going to hurt my kids. I'm not going to give up what God has for us. And instead of turning to someone else, turn to your spouse and say, we got to get help. It's okay to tell your spouse, I'm being tempted. I feel very vulnerable right now. We need to get some help so we get our marriage where it needs to be.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you or someone is going through this, what advice would you give them right now? If they haven't had the affair just yet, but they're in a deep, dark place, what would you tell them to do right now?
I would tell them to talk to somebody.
Okay.
I think you've got to get
in front of it.
Yeah. When you keep it inside, it just kind of festers and we don't really deal with it. I find somebody that you trust, maybe a pastor, maybe a close friend.
Yeah.
Somebody can hold you accountable. And I think, you want to tell your spouse, I love you more than anything, but I've got some vulnerabilities right now. And this is what I'm doing. I'm talking to somebody. I'm being accountable. I'm praying about it. And would you pray about for me? Your spouse never needs to be your accountability partner. That should never happen. Yeah. You don't need to be put in that role, but you need to find somebody that is, and they'll get in your face and say every week and say, what'd you do this week?
Yeah, that's good.
Were you around that person? Those kind of things.
I love that. That's great. And then this week in the dispatch, it's 10 qualities of a successful marriage. And then you talk about change in this. So what can we expect?
We kind of, I love this one, really. It kind of some questions. Can we really change? Are we stuck with who we are the rest of our lives? Are those people around us just going to have to suck it up because we are doing the best we can? And so starting with those questions and looking at that, and then really talking about how God has something better for us usually, and how to become who God created us to be. And when we do that and we let God in our life that time, we're going to be happier. Our spouse is going to be happier. Our marriage is going to be happier. Everyone around us is going to be happier. And sometimes I think we just get stuck where we are and don't want to put the effort to change because it takes time and it takes effort, it takes intentionality, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it.
Oh, absolutely. So it's definitely possible to change no matter who you are or what you've done in the past. Like you are able to change if you just let God help you or just ask God for help.
And I think we just have to realize that now you're not just stuck somewhere, that God always has something better for us, and just embrace that.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And then if you guys have any questions about change or the dispatch this week or the Awesome Marriage podcast, just drop it in the comment section and we will answer it. We would be happy to. So on the vlog, which comes out on Friday, it is, that's on our YouTube channel, but we also share it on our Instagram and our Facebook page. It's one major issue in marriage. What can we expect to hear in this?
I got lost there for a minute.
So I know that it talks about porn. It's 56% of marriages.
The porn is an issue.
Yes.
And so this issue, we look at porn.
Yeah.
We look away. How do we get away from it? It's something I think every man has dealt with at some point. And obviously the research is telling us there are more women that are dealing with this than there used to be. You didn't really think about porn in women, but we know it's destructive. We know it does what it does to a marriage, and it does to us individually. And we live in a culture where people kind of diminish it, or you see in TV shows or movies, it's kind of downplayed, or like, oh yeah, all guys do this, and hey, let's go watch some porn together and all that kind of stuff. They don't show the dark side of it. They don't show the other side of what happens when your spouse realizes you're looking at something else instead of her, and the darkness that comes with that.
Oh yeah. And then do you think that it's coming out more now because women aren't as scared to admit that they're watching porn, or do you think that women are just becoming more interested in porn?
I think the porn some things may be being made now that are more attractive to women than maybe it was in the past. And I think then the books like 50 Shades of Grey, things like that, the mommy porn kind of stuff, that kind of stuff, I think has gotten women thinking that way. And I think culture and the people who do porn have tried to pull women into it. And just like guys, women have been vulnerable to that and have stepped across the line also. Yeah.
And I love what you said last week. They want us to believe that it's okay to do this. Our culture accepts it, and that it's okay to do this. But in reality, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to do or for your husband to do.
No,
I love that.
not. And you don't need, you don't need that in your life. You don't need that in your
Yeah.
sex life. You don't need it in your life.
No.
God's given us everything we need in a husband and wife to have the best sex you can even imagine. And
Yeah.
that's what you want to pursue, not looking at something or reading something else.
Yeah. I love that. And then, okay, so for yesterday for our Marriage Challenge Monday, it was to change roles with your spouse to gain a better appreciation for all that they do. Have you and Nancy ever done this before, just for the day or for the hour? Have you guys ever changed roles?
I don't know that she has ever taken over my role, but I have with her, and kids growing up. And so she'd leave for a weekend or go visit her sisters or meet them. And so I had to play mom and dad both, and realize, golly, you do a lot,
Yeah.
and the things that she does, and realize the mess I make, she wasn't there to clean up. So not only can I make the mess, and all that kind of stuff. So that, and then I think I try to be pretty diligent about and doing one of her chores. I try to do it every week. I don't always do it, to be honest about that. But also I realize, okay, if I had this added into what I do every day, and Nancy's busy as I am usually, that's going to add a lot. And so just being conscious, I think, of what our spouse does and goes through. I think part of Nancy probably does with me is more just being empathetic with what I do and the time constraints and deadlines and stuff like that I have. And so she comes alongside me in that, as opposed to taking over that role.
Yeah. Nancy is such a wonderful woman. You are very, very lucky.
I know. I married up for sure.
You definitely, yes. When we were taking all of the photos, she was just such a trooper. She was like, "Yep, let's do whatever. I'm ready for it."
Yeah, it was fun.
So don't forget that we have the 30-day communication challenge out now, and that's on awesomemarriage.com. So if you just go to awesomemarriage.com and click on the resource tab and then click on awesome marriage resources, you're going to see the 30-day marriage or communication challenge. And you can donate any amount to receive this. You can donate a penny, you can donate $100 to receive this. And all of this goes to Awesome Marriage. And we are a nonprofit, obviously, so we love all of the donations. And this resource is so amazing. It helps you communicate more effectively. So check that out.
It is. And I think, we always, every couple we talk to, communication is usually a problem. And it's with most of us at some point. And so don't let the 30 days scare you. It's something simple you can do intentionally every day. And the reason it's 30 days, because if you do this intentionally for 30 days, there's a good chance you're going to keep doing it after that. Sometimes if we say, okay, we'll work on communication for a couple of days or a week, you need to get in some patterns. And that's the thought behind this one.
Oh, I love that. It's all about your routine.
Yes.
Because we can easily get into a bad routine. So why not get into a good routine?
Yes.
Love that. And then what Bible verse is speaking to you this week?
Well, when I read this morning, it kind of stood out to me in my reading through the Bible deal. And this part of the New Testament day is in Matthew. It's Matthew 36. And this is where Jesus was healing people and all that kind of stuff, and just being around people a lot. I mean, Jesus just put himself in the middle of society and culture at that time. And this one says, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were confused and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. And I think we can all feel that time helpless, and we just feel like confused and helpless. And just knowing that we do have a shepherd, that we can, where they had to travel miles to get to Jesus when he was on earth, or forever, just long distances to get there. We have access to him every day, 24/7, whenever we want him. And he is there to be our shepherd and to be there in those times when we feel like we don't know what to do, that he's always going to be there with an answer that makes a difference for us.
I love that so much. And then since it is Mental Health Month, you have a podcast that you're a guest on, Treasured Ministries, and that is out today. So please go check that out. You can find that on any major podcast app. And then, so according to Barna, the largest ever study, data showed that half of the U.S. 18 to 35 years old, 49% are expressed anxiety over important decisions and that we're afraid to fail. That 49% is an alarming high number. Do you think that this is getting worse with society, or do you think that it's getting better?
I think it's getting worse. I see more people. I see more. The thing in the last month or so, I've seen more teenagers with anxiety than I have in a long time, and extreme anxiety. And I think that carries over just the culture we're in. all the things that have changed our culture, and a lot of them, there's obviously some good things in it, but we haven't figured out how to handle things like social media, things like that. And so I think there's a lot of anxiety. Kids feel a lot of pressure. Adults feel a lot of pressure. So I think there's a lot of anxiety, and we're coming out of COVID, and we're coming
out that's definitely not easy.
Heightened depression went up, all those kind of things, PTSD from people who had COVID and couldn't breathe. And so we're seeing those kind of things. And so I think I love the focus on mental health, because if you got a mental health issue, there's usually some answers for you. And the first step is usually to find someone to go talk to that can help you talk through things. Sometimes that's all it takes, but someone that can also refer you to a medical doctor if there's maybe need for medication or physical, or just make sure there's nothing else going on. So if you're struggling with mental health, I would just encourage you to take that first step. Just reach out to somebody, and you reach out to your pastor to start with, somebody that can kind of listen to you and guide you and help you with whatever your next steps need to be.
Yeah. And then, okay, so I just received your 14 Keys to Lasting Love book, and I'm so excited to start reading it. I know that this is going to be so hard for you to answer, but just off the top of your head, do you have a favorite quote?
Well, the one actually I just kind of thumbed through, and what I landed on was, it's in the sex section because people are always interested on that. It's the part that says sex, how often. We were talking about the differences in male and female, and the quote that I really like is, how we handle these differences, male and female, and the needs is important, and that can make or break sex in your marriage. I think a lot of times guys expect their wives to have the same sex drive they do, because that's what Hollywood tells us. Women want the relationship part. And so those differences really, when we embrace them and work on them, make sex better. But a lot of times we let those differences pull us apart, and then we're fighting about sex, we're fighting about frequency, fighting about things. And so our sex relationship is not really what God designed to be. And God designed to be awesome. You know, if you think God's a prude, he was not. Just think about how he made our bodies that just fit perfectly together, and the way we're attracted to each other, all those kind of things. So God has a plan for your sex life, and it's good. And we just sometimes get in our own way, actually.
We do. Yeah.
So we had a couple people, Chrissy did, commented, Mark commented, thanks for those comments. And Mark says, we had this conversation last night. Since I just read it, I'm not sure what we were talking about, but it's one of the things that we talked about, Mark and his wife talked about last night. So that's good.
That's cool. So no questions that you need to answer right now?
No, just comments. And Chrissy said, take it up a notch when we talked about that she loved that. And so, yeah, that's good.
Well, if you guys have any questions for us, we're here. We're here every Tuesday. Just leave it in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We normally do this on Tuesday morning, but today we decided to do it on Tuesday afternoon, because why not? But we hope that you guys stay up to date with us. Go to awesomemarriage.com. We have everything on our website. You can follow us at Awesome Marriage, or you can follow Dr. Kim at Kim Kimberling. And thank you guys so much again. And we hope that you have a great day.
Yeah, have a good rest of your week.